All right, so I've seen Dark Shadows, and wow, well, that was quite a surprise. Surprising what the critics is definitely saying. Um, I really like this movie. I mean, I can see why they think it's it's all this and this, all no substance and all that, but I enjoyed the movie, so I can't really say on that front of, oh yes, well there was that, it'd be like them. I think the movie is really, really good. I like how he put the comedy and the serious dark stuff sort of like balance, Like there's a lot of like funny stuff in it, but then there's actually more sort of dark and seriousness stuff in it. And I didn't see that whole thing where they were saying there wasn't really like a good balance. And so yeah, that I disagree with already. Excellent performance by Johnny Depp, and no one seems to have mentioned that. And I don't understand what that's really saying. So that's sort of like a blank to me because he's just so good. It's actually one of my favorite characters Johnny Depp's ever played. He's just so brilliant in this role. I mean, you'll just love this character like completely. Um, and everybody else is really great. I mean, Eva Green, she's really really good. I like Eva Green. She was in one of the recent Bond movies, in Casino Royale, and she's really good in that. And she's in this. She's really 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 good. I mean, next to Johnny Depp in terms of, that good. And, I just thought it was a really interesting movie because you wouldn't expect that kind of movie. Because, because the kind of movie that it is it's quite depth, like got quite a lot of depth to it, and there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of characters, and there's a lot of stuff there which I really wasn't expecting because I really like meaningful, thoughtful, depth movies, movies that have lots of stuff to say, because a couple of weeks I saw Amadeus and I thought that movie was marvelous. And, it's not up there with Amadeus being marvelous, but it's still a really good movie. And given what I saw in Amadeus, all that stuff that I thought was so great about it, I think that's here. I really do. I mean, it's really got stuff in there that's it works so well. I mean, the dialogue is excellent. It's really, really funny. And it is really sort of like you're watching it, and it's just this central performance of Johnny Depp, who's just so brilliant. And I was really just so engaged by the whole thing. It didn't bore me, it didn't disappoint me. I was full on entertained, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, I always loved Tim Burton the way he does all his set design and the look of his film because it just every Tim Burton film looks unique. This looks so good, and just like all the stuff he does, like all the set design, the look of it, it's just really like unique and original, and I just thought it looked great. Um, and I love the way he puts in like stuff of pulp culture, like where he puts in stuff like the Carpenters, and he puts in like all in jokes, McDonald's when he's just eating a bunch of people when he's been awoken. That was really funny. Um, and yeah, I think it's a really good movie. I don't understand why people aren't enjoying it as much. I think it's a good time, and I'm going to see it again. I'll definitely see it again on DVD as well. I mean, it's a kind of movie that I thought I was going to enjoy it, despite what everybody else is saying, because I usually enjoy movies a lot more than when people are saying they're not so good. Um, and I think this is one of those. I think there's a lot to like about it. It's got so much there going on that I just immediately just think it's brilliant. Pretty damn close to being like Amadeus brilliant, but it's I gotta say though, I mean I really didn't expect this at all. I mean from the trailer, I mean from the trailer it looks like a real like comedy sort of film, but it's not like that at all. Like there's a lot of comedy in it, but then I felt like the dark and serious stuff was really interesting. And the only thing I don't like about this movie is it's a 12. I think it's just really inappropriate for a 12. I mean, you see him like killing people and you see like someone's heart in one bit, and then it's just like dark and it's about death and adult themes around that subject. And I just don't think that's really appropriate. Really like all the characters in it. It's got a really really good story. I don't understand when people saying about it doesn't have a story. I think it has a very very good story, and it's got that story that it doesn't sort of like stop. Like they carry on, so like throughout the movie, they're adding more to the story, adding more to the story, and it's really fascinating. There's a scene, so not far away from the end, and it's just captivated me. You know, it's just really just like emotional and touching. But I don't want to spoil what happens, but I just think it's a good movie. It's better than average. It's almost a brilliant film. Like it's almost as good as Amadeus. I mean, you know, that's high praise from someone like me who really likes Amadeus to the point of I think it's marvelous. And especially when this movie isn't getting that good reviews, I think it deserves more than it's getting. I really like it. I mean, I just watching it, you know, today, and I just there's something really like cute about it as well. Like it had like a real likeness to it. Like it was kind of quirky and you know and yeah, I thought that worked really well. Like there's a line I like. It's in the trailer and it's also in the movie. Because he hasn't really adjusted to its 1972 Johnny Depp's character, and there's like a line where he says, "Well, we better get going. Prepare the horses. We don't have horses. We have a Chevy." No, it's funny. um, yeah, I just you know the ending. I don't want to say what happens at the ending, but the ending's really good. I was like, oh, I can't was expect them to do that at all. I thought it ended. I was almost about to like go because obviously it's last like it seemed like it was the end, you know. But then it carries on for like another little bit, like about 30 seconds or maybe 30 40 seconds, something like that. And you know, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I found it really interesting that they had the whole vampire thing, not like a real cop out on the whole vampire logic like Twilight. It had a lot of stuff in it that was like funny and stuff that it was just really well done. Like they have like this scene like there's a scene where he's on fire because the sun sort of coming through and everything through the curtains, and he's like, something burning. And then they say to him that you're on fire, and then someone throws a water bucket and just like puts him out. I just think it's really funny. I like it when movies acknowledge the whole thing, like especially a movie like this, it has to acknowledge the whole thing of vampirism and all that stuff, you know, that I really like from Underworld and what I've just sort of obviously been so disappointed by with Twilight, because Twilight just sort of gives a slap in the face. Um, and this, I just really liked how like there's scenes where he's going out like with like an umbrella and he's wearing all black clothing because he doesn't want anything to sort of like reflect and everything, or anything sort of like bright and sort of, you know, I just think it's really funny because I was just like anything sort of do with bright colors when it comes to the sun and everything. Um, and you know, just loads of scenes in it. It's just really good. I think it's funny as well. You know, that's the sort of rare thing. Like I think when you know, there's a film like this and it's completely all dark. But it's nice to have a bit of humor in it as well, which I thought was really well done. And I don't think it's overdone. I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's all over the place. Like Mark Kermode said in his review, I think his review is incorrect and he misunderstood it. And you know, I just think it's a good time. I think there's a lot of stuff, like I said, to like about it. Helen Bonham Carter's really good in it. And Chloe Grace Moretz from Kick-Ass and Hugo, she's very good. Um, just everybody's just really great, you know. And I really like how they approach the whole vampire stuff. And there's always like stuff in it where he wants to be like mortal and be a human, and then they go back to the whole thing of when he lost his, you know, love and you know, his great love of his life, and you know, just I think the movie says a lot, and you wouldn't expect that from the trailer, like I said earlier, because it's all sound the comedy, but it's not that movie really. I mean, there is comedy in it, but I think there's a lot more going on than you would expect. And I think that's really fascinating because, you know, it's nice to see something so original like this, I think. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it doing both. With it doing comedy and the drama. You know, I mean, I think it's quite interesting. Well, rather interesting, I'd better say. But you know, I think it's a good Tim Burton movie. I'll definitely be buying it on DVD, and I think it's part of the collection. You know, Tim Burton, and I think it's good. I really like this movie. I'm gonna give it an 8. I don't say it's perfect, but I think it's very entertaining and it's great fun.